All right, happening today. This is some good news, very good news. One of the major parts of the new I-25 Paseo interchange is opening in just about an hour, just in time for your morning drive and, yes, Balloon Fiesta. The new free flow ramp that will go from eastbound Paseo del Norte to southbound I-25, the way a lot of people go in the morning from the west side, is going to be opening up at 6 o'clock. At least one of the 2 lanes, we are told, will be opening. The whole project, including the huge centerpiece, a giant flyover from northbound I-25 to westbound Paseo, is set to be done this December. We'll take a live look out there coming up in about a half hour. In some other news now, as we get up to 5:02, News 13 has gotten a hold of some new video showing the former APD sergeant who killed a young woman in a horrible crash last year, teaching a traffic safety class.
And it is what he told cadets that's catching a lot of people's attention. The video obtained by News 13 was taken a year before the fatal crash. Now, Adam Casals, who was found guilty of careless driving and who is now trying to get his job back, has this video to deal with.
We can't have mad chaos on the streets. Can't let people drive as fast as they want. That's how people die.
Well, prosecutors say it was Casals who was off duty speeding in a 45-mile-per-hour zone when he ran a red light and killed 21-year-old Ashley Browder. He said that he was going after a dangerous driver and that he thought he had a green light. A jury this week found him guilty of careless driving instead of vehicular homicide charges.
Oh, 5:02 now. A dangerous arrest right here, caught on cell phone video. An off-duty SWAT officer and a suspect right there. That SWAT officer was heading home, again off duty, and found himself in a fight for his gun and his life. Take a look.
Get out of the car. Get back on your knees.
A witness took this video back in August on Coors near Central and posted it on YouTube. APD says the man in the video is Dino Bailey. They say Bailey threatened to kill a security guard in an apartment complex nearby, and police thought he had a gun. Off-duty APD SWAT officer Stephen Arias was in the area and responded by himself.
He had just spent an entire day training out at the range. It's very difficult to try to engage in a physical fight while holding a rifle like that.
Well, Dino Bailey eventually made a run for it, and other officers were able to catch up with him. Officer Arias had a few cuts and bruises, but was okay. APD says the officer did everything right in this situation.
People in Rio Arriba County are waking up to a new sheriff this morning. County commissioners unanimously voted to oust former Sheriff Tommy Rodella yesterday. Rodella had refused to step down even after being found guilty of 2 felonies, violating a driver's civil rights and a gun charge. James Lujan is now in charge of the department. He was set to take office in January because he beat Rodella in the primary and now runs unopposed next month. By the way, Rodella is set to be sentenced later this year to a minimum of 7 years in prison. Things are heating up in the race for sheriff in Bernalillo County. You could feel the tension during a forum put on by the League of Women Voters last night. Republican Scott Baird, a former chief deputy in the sheriff's department, is taking on Democrat Manny Gonzalez, a former deputy who served as sheriff for a year in 2010. Now, the two were questioned about decriminalizing pot, dealing with the mentally ill, and transparency. But it wasn't until the end, when the candidates got to ask their own questions, that things really got heated up.
You have admitted openly you have several criminal convictions. You also have many other transgressions while you were employed with the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department.
So what my opponent is doing is what happens when a politician gets desperate, is they start talking about things from 30 years ago.
All right, well, voters will head to the polls, just so you know, to choose their sheriff in November.
5:05, here's a follow-up to a story we first told you about yesterday morning. 3 children are back home and safe with their mother right now after an Amber Alert was issued for them about 24 hours ago. Deputies say the kids' dad, Oscar Villalobos here, took them after beating up his wife at their home in northwest Albuquerque late Wednesday night. Deputies issued an Amber Alert because they say Villalobos took a rifle with him and they feared the children were in danger. He was found at a relative's house about 3 o'clock yesterday morning. The kids are okay. Again, they're back with their mom this morning. Villalobos is charged with a battery on a household member and child endangerment. Well, happening right now, a freelance American cameraman, a news cameraman covering the Ebola outbreak in Africa, is now flying back to the U.S. from Liberia for treatment after getting the deadly Ebola virus.
Yeah, we know he is 33 years old. He arrived in West Africa on assignment Tuesday and started showing symptoms the very next day. This unidentified photojournalist will receive, as you mentioned, comprehensive treatment here in the U.S. Meanwhile, Texas health officials say as many as 100 people may have come in contact with the first patient in the U.S. found to have Ebola. Hazmat crews will decontaminate the Dallas apartment where Thomas Duncan, the patient, was staying.
The actions that we took, while unusual, were appropriate, and they're there to come you know, for the safety of the family as well as the safety of the public.
Duncan's family is also being quarantined. Officials in Liberia say they will prosecute Duncan for allegedly lying about who he came into contact with before flying to the States. We have learned while in Liberia, Duncan helped a pregnant neighbor who later died of the disease.
All right, 5:07 happening today on a much happier note. If you do not have season tickets to see the Lobos play basketball and you want them, heads up, today's the first day you can go ahead and buy them, and you better do it quickly because it looks like they are going to go very fast. Even with the three powerhouse players gone, Alex Kirk, Kendall Williams, and Cameron Bairstow, the fans are not going anywhere. UNM says it's already had nearly 10,500 people renew their season tickets, and they're only about 1,000 short of the total number of season tickets they sold last year. Attendance at the pit last year averaged more than 15,200 people per game. That's the highest it's been in more than a decade. UNM is optimistic that we can top that this season.
Really, over the last 7 and 8 years, it's been getting better and better. Attendance is getting higher and higher.
Oh yeah, love those games. UNM is raising ticket prices, not a lot, $2 on a game on single tickets, and if you have season tickets, you'll be paying $1 more a game. The school says that money will go toward paying off the $60 million pit makeover. I cannot believe it. We are talking Balloon Fiesta, and we're already talking college basketball.